right. Hey, what's up, everybody? We're here on the Pro-Forma Playbook, and I'm super excited to be joined by Xavier. And we're going to talk about all things startups and pitch competitions. And for those of you who don't know, there's a pitch competition coming up here in a couple weeks. Pro-Forma's hosting. It's not their first. They've done a couple of these. And what makes Pro-Forma and their process really special is the tool that they use to analyze and perform some due diligence on the startups that apply. So Pro-Forma is a platform designed to empower entrepreneurs by providing tools and resources to refine their vision, validate assumptions, and build investor-ready plans. It's an incredible tool that can accelerate all of that work that usually takes a long time to perform. They can do it within minutes, if not hours. So it's an awesome tool, and we've seen some incredible startups already come through. And this is going to be another great one. There's a $50,000 prize on the line. Xavier's writing a check. It's going to be great. No, he's not. But there's a lot of money on the line, and more than anything, we're just excited to connect with entrepreneurs that are solving real world problems and using technology to solve those problems. So I'm super excited. If you're interested in applying, I would encourage you to go to the landing page and submit an application. And then also, if you're interested in being a judge, we need more judges because we're getting a lot of startups, and we need some backup to kind of go through some of these and provide some feedback. So if you're interested in that, do reach out to the Pro-Forma team, and they'll be sure to have a chat with you and put you in the right spot. So aside from that, my name is Matt Cretzman. I'm hosting the Pro-Forma Playbook. I'm the founder of LeadStorm AI, which is a sales and marketing automation platform for B2B businesses. Also Stormbreaker Digital, which is a full service agency in B2B. And Xavier, I don't know if you know, but I also happen to write a book. So I just finished this Advantage. 190 pages. If you love LinkedIn, feel like you're not using it to your advantage, that book is for you. But without further ado, Xavier, thanks so much for joining me today. It's a little early. Have you had your coffee?
I've had my coffee and a full breakfast.
Hey, you're ready to go. Excellent. What do you like for breakfast?
Usually I might skip it, but today I'm in a great hotel in Arlington, and I had a whole ready-made omelet, custom design.
Oh man, now you're speaking my language. I love a good omelet. I just put I treat my omelets like my pizza. I just want all of it. Just put all of it in there. Give me all that good stuff. Excellent. Well, good, man. Well, thank you for joining me again. And let's just take a quick second. Just tell us, who is Xavier? What have you been up to? Your LinkedIn profile, it's got more stuff than mine. That's very rare. So you're a busy man. but tell us who you are and what your journey's been like thus far.
Absolutely, Xavier Egan. Once upon a time, I started in accounting and finance. So I really had that opportunity to work my way up and understand the business language, as they very well put it. And after lots of boring and some exciting years in accounting and finance, I found a love for private equity and, venture capital and all these different level of what they call alternative investments, which is really, really what makes the meat and potatoes of society, it seems, right? Yeah. So I went out and tried to help in that business entrepreneurial realm. Starting with mergers and acquisition, kind of buying companies, helping them grow, establish things like that. And then I realized that is one side of the puzzle of just steadfast establishment, right? Cash flow and routineness, customer bases. And then the other side, as we look at global expansion and how monetary expansion has moved, is really about technology companies, and not in always the sense that people think of, but I always like to say these days, you're either a tech company, tech enabled, or you're falling off the map, right? And so at this point, it's not about saying that you're a tech company in the true traditional sense that we've got to just be AI or we just got to have some sort of platform. It's the idea that any type of industry or any type of company or any type of solution can now be a platform based where people can receive it faster, mitigate the results at exponential speeds, and kind of change the dynamics of where we're going for business, agriculture, energy, so on and so forth. Yep. So it really becomes something that's business on steroids. It's really exciting. You get to see so much, and you get to really challenge people to think about the ways that we can solve problems.
Yeah. I'm just curious, like how many startups or pitches would you say that you've seen in your lifetime?
Oh, it's been thousands. I definitely love to take the time to help out startups in different environments and judge, participate in the competitions. I've done it with a number of universities to nonprofit groups and otherwise. And it
Mm,
really is just another opportunity to learn, to understand what's happening out there in the market. And as even smart as the judges or investors or otherwise may be, we really just don't know what's coming around that corner.
yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, we don't. And a lot of times, the founder doesn't. That's just part of the journey and the surprise.
That's right.
You
That's
know,
right.
you're a pioneer. You're the one at the front leading the pack, paving the way. But great risk comes with great reward if you do it right and you got the right team around you.
That's
Um,
right.
I'm curious, before we kind of dive into like the pitches and stuff like that, what are the most surprising things maybe you've learned about early stage startups in your career as an investor?
Well, one is that everybody believes they need money. Uh,
Yes.
Everybody, right? Like
Even before
everybody.
they start a business, right? It's like, I need money.
Yeah, I need money. And really, that is kind of the old way of looking at things. I've been, studying the market a lot, and they say we're creating a new Silicon Valley, right? Where we don't just fund off the back of napkins anymore. We just don't believe in the freemium model only and aggregating all these customers and hoping that we're going to get to revenue or profitability or things like that. We kind of need a real balance of how do you get to that first customer? How do you make someone understand what you're doing, and how do you prove that there's value in that? And really, that's the interchange of sales.
Yeah.
So everybody needs money, but the reality is, if we don't have a plan and we don't have a purpose that can interchange with the customers, then we're pretty much, a long way from home, I'll say.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's it. And I say the same thing too. If you focus on solving the problem first, the money will come, you
That's
know,
right.
and the bigger the solution, the bigger the payday. I mean, essentially, if you do it right.
That's right.
You know?
I always like to imagine that if the new startup ecosystem companies thought more like the traditional businesses, which is that
Yeah.
I need a business model that takes care of itself, right? And then
Mhm.
if I've got a process and a business model that takes care of itself, to your point, the money will come, right? Because I'm already taking care of customers. I'm already proving that the engine works. I'm already cruising down the road, and I'm really looking for that acceleration,
Yeah.
that petrol or that super gasoline
Yeah.
is
That
really going to get me fired off with a jetpack. And when
exactly.
we can see a business in that light, that's what gets investors excited. That's what changes minds, and that's what changes people's day, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's it. Yeah, couldn't have said it better. At Pro-Forma, this is what's really exciting is we're seeing trends across 25,000 plus founders with all of the submissions that we're getting and startups that we're analyzing. Speaking of trends, like, are there some trends that you're seeing in early stage valuations right now, or what advice would you give to founders that are raising capital right now in this climate?
Uh, in the perfect world, MVP first, right? Obviously, when you look at what's happening in the trends evaluation, you're in a lighter state evaluation when you just hit the concept, phase, believing that it's a good idea, maybe testing that with communication and conversation, but
Mm,
not actually being able to get a person in there to the system, to the tool. What we've seen is, to your point, the roadmap is never really complete until the first customer gets in there, right? Uh,
yes.
or as Tyson says, we've all got a plan until we get punched in the mouth. And customers are really that version for startups where you just don't know. You build the perfect sandbox and you don't know if they're going to build a castle in it or if they're going to build a moat. It's just a
Yep.
box. And it's really up for the customer to decide where that journey should go and where you hopefully will take them to.
Yeah.
So if we can get to more companies or more ideas that physically have put that work in first, that
Mm,
have something tangible for us to see, that have something tangible for the clientele to touch, those valuations have tended to be a lot higher. almost double in certain cases of just those proof of concepts. I believe that it's a good idea type of state.
Yeah. Yeah, excellent. No, that's good advice. Yeah, get that MVP first. And I've talked to so many people, you too, where they sink, man, a lot of money, and they didn't even take the time to actually, check with the market and talk to your customer. The most valuable thing that I would say you could probably do, especially early on, is be as close to your customer as you possibly can.
That's
and
right.
have real conversations with them. As a marketer, a lot of people, they come to me and they're like, hey, can you take this to market? Let's just kind of see what happens. Well, hold on a second. Wait. Before we sink money in marketing, man, why don't you just pick up your phone, and call a few of your, ICPs and see what they say, and get some feedback. But hey, listen, we're here in DFW, and I think you're just down in Arlington, right?
Yes.
Excellent. What's going on here in Dallas with the startup scene and in the VC world?
A lot of growth. I'll tell you, this is no Silicon Valley, or New York necessarily, but with the one of the largest number of billionaires per capita, with the numerous amount of Fortune 500 companies that are here, with the great opportunities in sports, marketing, and all the assets that are in the DFW. It is a great market to grow in. In theory, it comes with every customer that any type of business would want. So when it comes to a testing bed, it's almost the perfect place to be. Now, on the venture side of, capitalization, we're a little soft, and we're trying to grow, more arms and legs and strength to that. But the idea of being able to come up with great plans, great startups, and have the perfect place to actually grow that business, I think DFW has a great foothold on what's happening. And more often than not, other businesses, as they grow elsewhere, are going to realize that it's a great opportunity to be a part of this particular market, where you've got access to everything that you can imagine, because the cost of living and the way that the economics work and all of that great stuff. So I'm excited to be a part of it. Of course, it's maturing every day, as the venture ecosystem holistically is one of the younger markets investments that we all deal in. Even a place like DFW has to, again, grow up and be a part of what that full-fledged market may look like one day.
Yeah. And there's a lot, like you said. I moved here to Dallas, DFW, in 2016, and I've just really come to love all the opportunities for entrepreneurs and people that appreciate building businesses and raising a family. It's a great place to be. And then I learned maybe about a year or so ago, there's great cities out there like McKinney, their Economic Development Council. There's a fund of I think it's about $15 million, where they'll allocate some capital towards startups that are starting businesses in that zip code.
That's right.
Yeah, it's just amazing.
Other cities are picking up that same type of stride. For instance, in the city of Arlington, they just announced this maybe a couple weeks ago, that they made a partnership with the Lyft Fund to give up to $100,000 zero interest to startups and entrepreneurs in the particular area. So they're getting creative and crafty. They're great accelerators and incubators that are coming to town. People are thinking about creating more innovation zones, smart city aspects, things of that nature, that hopefully are going to cultivate more people to say, hey, maybe this is a good place, or maybe this is a good time and space to say, yeah, I can do it. These are the right partners. These are the right, stakeholders. As whether we're talking about a regular business or a hyper growth startup, you really need an ecosystem of support, right?
Yes.
It's not just one side or the other. You need the pro-formas as the tools. You need the pitch competitions as the places. You need the investors in the right spaces, so on and so forth, to really, really make that impact you're looking for.
Yeah. I love that. The barrier to entry now for starting a business and growing that is now, it's getting lower. And I love that. Everybody can, should feel empowered to go out there and just dream, have a vision for something that you can build, and, how you can make the world a better place. And there's so many resources now at our fingertips, which are just so exciting for the future. I want to just finish off just talking about you a little bit. What are you working on right now? somebody who's watching this, who should reach out to you and why?
Sure. So we're talking venture today. We also have a venture studio based in Arlington, which is part of how we're trying to help connect those ecosystems. And in our space, we try to help companies with ideas, some without, some that just have great team spirit, some that just have great presence, and help them put together the right ecosystem, right? To build out where they're going. So we've got a couple companies that have kind of launched this year out of the venture space or the studio space. One called Today's Athlete for Tomorrow, which is kind of a sports marketplace to support athletes in the NIL space from high school, college, but all the way from pros, ex-pros, and coaches, because they believe that athletes represent every community. And from a business standpoint, we want to touch every community when it comes to our customers. We've also got something on the other side of the spectrum in the AI space called Contract Stage, where ultimately they're looking at post-contract execution, where most people kind of thought about negotiation and back and forth, signature authority and things like that. There's still $870 billion dispute market. And the reason isn't necessarily because we've written or agreed to the wrong contracts. It's because we're operating indifferent to the contract we've signed. So this company is focused on post-execution, where you can ultimately upload any type of contract. It reads it for you and does a democratized analysis so that you can understand your highs, lows, timelines, financial impacts, the discretionary opportunities, exit clauses, so on and so forth. So we're really excited about just the variety of opportunity out here to really make a difference and an impact, especially with how you can incorporate technology to really rethink some of the same missions, some of the same plans that are already out there, but really take it to a new global level where now you can support, touch, and affect a wider range of populace.
I love that. Yeah. Wow. That's a big market, 860 billion. If you're signing contracts, you need to talk to Xavier.
That's right. Check it out.
Check it out. Well, that's very exciting. I love what you're doing. I love your heart for the city and for entrepreneurs. And it's really exciting hearing what you're up to. I'd encourage you, if you're watching this, reach out to Pro-Forma. If you're interested in applying for the pitch competition, submit one for yourself and your startup. If you're looking to be a judge like Xavier and, contribute your knowledge and your expertise, we'd love to chat with you. And then if you're here in DFW or maybe even beyond and you want to connect with somebody that can help you launch your startup and get plugged into a venture ecosystem, Xavier's your guy. So Xavier, go Cowboys. Thanks for your time, my man.
There you go. All righty. Till next time, guys.
Until next time. All right, perfect. I'll cut it right there. Good. Awesome. That was fun. Thanks, man.
There we go, man. I try to do my part, man. Shake them up for the day.
There you go. Exactly. Yeah. Have you it's a little bit far from where you live if you live down in Arlington. But I've got a really good friend here. His name is Elvin Fenton. If you like connecting with investors and just like deal makers and just high quality connectors, Elvin's a very good friend of mine. He hosts a monthly poker night for guys. And it's a really funny story. He was an optometrist for a number of years, and then he figured out he made more money buying out his competitors. So Goldman scooped him up, and he did it nationwide in optometry. And so he's got a beautiful house, beautiful family, and a really cool man cave. And tomorrow night actually is the final one until I think the spring or past the holiday season.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's super fun. And he actually got a live artist, a country music artist. He's hilarious. He did a crawfish boil in the spring, and they had 1,000 pounds of crawfish.
Wow.
And they shut down his whole neighborhood, cars everywhere. It was the craziest thing, but it's a good room to connect with people and network and stuff. So if that's of interest, I'll just show it to you.
Yeah, feel free to share that, man. I actually do play a little poker.
Okay.
So, I'm happy to get out there and see what they're up to.
Yeah, cool. No, I thought it'd be fun. Yeah, I thought it'd be fun. I'll send it to you. And if you can make it, I'll do a group text with you and Elvin, and I
Okay.
just love, connecting people, and he's just such a good friend. You'll love meeting him.
Excellent.
So, yeah. Here, let me grab your cell real quick before you jump.
Okay.
What is that?
682.
Okay.
712.
Yep.
2125.
125. Perfect.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll send that along, and if you can make it, great. But this was awesome. What can I do to help you?
Well, let's market some people together, change the world, normal stuff.
Yep.
The Grow Taff company is kicking up. They've got probably 100 athletes already on the platform, representing maybe 350 teams, 21 countries, and about 250 cities. So really creating that opportunity to pair with regular businesses to enhance their marketing. And I think that's a great opportunity because the idea is more like a Walmart approach to being able to access athletes,
Yep.
if that makes sense, right?
Yep.
So that could give a lot of guys a little bit more credibility. And of course, in the college space, we're helping kids, I guess. In the pro space, it just becomes a little bit more fun.
Yeah, exactly. That's for sure. Have you heard of Jonathan Hoflinger?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so Jonathan would be a perfect connection for you with anything athletic related or athlete related. He started a company. I just sent you his LinkedIn profile
Mhm.
called Athletic Estate. And Athletic Estate essentially turns every athlete into their own like media company. They can
Yeah.
host their own press conferences. They can, gain their own followers, and they can manage their own brand deals. He's got a lot of athletes and universities and campuses already on the platform.
Nice.
Yeah, he's a brilliant guy. Right here in Frisco. So I can make that intro, and he'd be really good for you to connect with. Also, Plug and Play. You familiar with Plug and Play?
Mhm.
Yeah. Do you see that they're doing their sports tech night?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You going to that?
Frisco, man. Jesus. Y'all need
I
to
know.
send a helicopter for me, man. Come on.
I know, man. Yeah. It's a bit of a hike.
Oh, yeah. No, I think one of my team is going to make it out there, though. He lives in Frisco area. So,
Yeah, that's good. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I'll probably be there for that day. And then the next day, I'm co-hosting an AI mastermind.
Mhm.
Which the 14th is their AI day. So I'll be there just kind of doing an all-day workshop, which will be fun. Trying to think who else might be a good connection for you in sports. I'll think through some. Are you trying to connect with schools too? Like
Yeah,
high
all
school?
above.
Yeah.
And then, of course, with the contracts company, that's something that we think is going to be super game changing.
Yeah.
That's seemingly not an end that people thought about.
Yeah.
How do we manage those contracts better? It's
Yep.
typically we wait till there's a problem, and
Right.
then it's a fire alert,
Mhm.
3 alarm fire that costs us a lot of money because we got to get the attorneys involved. So
Right.
this is supposed to be something that helps us all operate better, and it's subscription based, so it's pretty
Yep.
pretty easy, pretty lean for people to get active with.
Yep. And who are the ideal? I mean, obviously the business owner, but who could
Mhm.
be like maybe some referral partners? Like, would attorneys want to share that out, or CFOs maybe, or?
Absolutely. Attorneys are always stuffy about replacing them, but
Yeah.
operationally, I think I've been talking to more of them about how this could enhance their, customer experience, right?
Right.
Because they're not getting to review every contract; they're only coming to them about the problems. So if a lawyer was smart, he
Yep.
used this as a part of his technology fee and get
Right.
his clients to load everything, and he only jumps in when he needs it.
Right.
But then, yeah, we've had some great use cases with construction and real estate companies, multifamily providers.
Yep.
I was just talking to one of the Starwood subsidiary companies, and
Mhm.
for instance, every time they onboard or offload a new property, they've got to run through all the contracts to make sure they did their accruals and everything right.
Yep.
Well, they looking for 10 data points out of a contract. It takes on average 45 minutes to do this job, and they
Mm.
get at least 50 of these contracts at a time. So loaded the same contract in the contract stage. It took 3 minutes to ascertain the same exact answer. And it's because
Wow.
it does a analysis for you and
Mm,
hits you with the ROI. Plus, you could chat with the contract, or you can chat with your entire portfolio of contracts.
mm,
So every
mm,
contract you've signed at your company, now you can ask them all questions. Where do I have these liabilities? Where do these disclosures happen? What kind of
mm,
reporting do I have? So on and so forth.
mm,
So it's been something really cool to see how people have all these problems that they didn't even know about.
mm. Mm, yeah, thanks very much. I guess it's better that I know I got cancer or something than not, finding out too late.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where, we didn't think
Mm,
they had as much of an itch, but that's because nobody knew how to scratch it.
right. Mm,
So you always felt it. It was just that you didn't have a way to resolve it before.
mm,
And now we do. So
mm-hmm.
that's the beauty of technology, to our point earlier, right? Like, who knew, man, all these years? And then what I really love, because I got that M&A background, is that I
Mm,
felt that we've never truly been able to do due diligence.
mm,
Because if you'd imagine taking over a company or doing a lawsuit legally or whatever, you've got to read all the contracts that actually make up that entity.
yep.
And not only do you need to read them, but from a legal standpoint, from an operational standpoint, from a financial standpoint, compliance standpoint, you need all these different viewpoints
Mm,
on the same contracts to really understand the value intersect of how it affects the company.
mm, mm-hmm.
We never had that. Like, the only version of that you get is to send it to the lawyers. They only look at it from the legal aspect. Then you decide on moving forward with the deal.
Mm,
Now you got to bring it in operationally. You've already expensed cost and taken on the liability.
mm-hmm.
Now you got your accounting team who realizes there's even bigger liability.
Mm,
Your operational team realizes there's another liability.
mm-hmm.
And none of that was actually incorporated in how we reviewed these documents,
Mm,
because we don't have a smart enough or fast enough team.
yep.
The average contract is 50 pages long and
Mm,
takes 4.2 hours to review.
yeah. It's insane.
We're not reading those. Like,
No,
nobody.
nobody.
Yeah. So I don't even believe the attorney that we paid read that contract. I don't believe that either.
Nope. Heck no. No. Be like, just skim through it.
He's highlighting, right?
Yep.
And practically he's going to give it to a paralegal, and they're going to highlight and skim through it.
And he's
And
still going to bill you his hourly rate.
they're going to bill you the hourly rate.
Yep.
So the
Yep.
subjectivity between the different personalities that
Mm,
might be reviewing, the difference of how you felt that day. You were on the Angry Bird train and you skipped some stuff. You were on a romantic night and you're out of pocket.
yep.
You're not
Yep.
thinking the same way. You're not going to review that same document to the same degree.
Yep.
And how does that translate to the value
Mm,
and why we have $870 billion in disputes?
mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. That's why we are where we are.
That's
Yep.
it.
Yep. Yep.
So yeah, man, some food for
Cool.
thought.
Cool.
Maybe there's some opportunities to get in
That.
front of some bigger clients for that.
Yep.
We're actually talking to Amazon about a POC today.
Okay. Awesome. Very cool. On contract stage.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Fantastic, dude.
Yeah. They realized that it took them 42 days to create a SOW, or a statement of work, to get out to, whoever they were working with. And Amazon's a big dog, right? Like, that's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people.
So 42 days was just unconscionable. Well, they did an internal project where they incentivized their internal teams to come up with a solution. So they came up with an AI box that does it in 2 days to create that same SOW. And on the roadmap, it would have been to get to what we've already created, a contract stage one day.
Wow.
So we're just going to hit them with the fast forward button and see if we can get that
Nice.
relationship today, and see them dedicating all that energy. Hey, let's do it together.
That's cool, man. That is awesome. I hope you win that. I know that would be big. Slap that logo on there.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Yes. Yeah. Cool. Well, and if it ever helps, if it's ever relevant for me to give you some insights or tips on even utilizing LinkedIn, for outreach and trying to start conversations with decision makers, that's why I wrote the book. I'd love to put a copy in your hands if we ever meet up at some time. But yeah. Well, that's good. Awesome. Well, thanks, man. This was a great chat. Wonderful to meet you. I'll make that intro to Jonathan and send along details for Elvin, and
Okay.
we'll be in touch again.
All right. I appreciate it, Matt. We'll talk soon, buddy.
Yes, sir. Thank you.